Hello everybody, and welcome back to Toasted Mushroom. It's that time again to talk about something that I've been ruminating over, which may or may not be involved in a piece of fiction that you may or may not have seen. And all that to say, before I get into the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it helps me and the channel out very much. Make sure to grab some snacks, get nice and toasty, and don't be quick to regenerate, because we've got some stuff to cover today. So, you could probably guess from the thumbnail, or that cringy intro that I just used, but let's talk about Doctor Who. For those who are well versed in the show, it has been around for about 60 years, which is a long time. In fact, this is a show my grandmother and I watch regularly because she's been watching since the 4th Doctor. So it's been a little thing for her and I to bond over. Now, that may also sound weird. 4th Doctor? For everyone's sake, let's consider the main character, the Doctor, to be an alien who every time he gets close to dying will change into another person. As the bare bones of the situation, if you want to learn more, I highly suggest watching the show. Anyway, let's talk about Doctor Who, specifically its long story. See, the reason I pointed out the 60 years that the show has been around for is because in 2023, they released their 60th anniversary. In this anniversary, we see David Tennant back in the role of the Doctor and Catherine Tate in the role of Donna Noble. They had a previous run as the main characters during the events of Series 4. Honestly, seeing them in the series again was something I never thought I'd see, but it felt really nostalgic and heartwarming. So, for the new anniversary, we were in for a 3-part special, where each episode had a different premise, but they all felt like the show that we had come to expect from Russell T Davies, the writer of Series 1 through 4, and now the 60th specials and Season 1. And what did I think of the anniversary event? Well, I thought it was pretty good. Not amazing, but pretty good. However, this video isn't about my opinion on the special. It's about an event that we see happen during the final episode of the anniversary, the Giggle. Toward the end of the episode, the Toy Maker, played by Neil Patrick Harris, and the Doctor, played by David Tennant, are locked in a game of life and death. The Toy Maker decides that since the first 2 games played with the Doctor were played with different incarnations, then the final game must be played with the next Doctor. This then prompts him to shoot the 14th Doctor, David Tennant, with a death ray, causing him to regenerate. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It causes him to bigenerate. Bigenerating is basically, rather than turning from one person into another, they split off into 2 separate paths. One stays the 14th Doctor, and the other becomes the 15th Doctor. Now, this is a very unique occurrence because up until this point, we have never seen this happen with any other incarnation of the Doctor, or any other Time Lord for that matter. We even get a comment from the 15th Doctor that this is supposed to be a myth. Now, because the Toy Maker has celestial powers over space and time, he's able to make anything happen. He operates outside the laws of the universe. So the idea that the Toy Maker and Bigeneration being in the same episode isn't out of the realm of possibility. In fact, I believe most people who have seen this special think the Toy Maker is directly responsible for the Bigeneration. But I'm here today to explain that not only is this incorrect, but there is an actual in-universe explanation for the Doctor's Bigeneration that begins and ends with the Doctor themselves. If I'm going to be honest, the reason I was a little bitter about this episode was because of the Bigeneration. I felt like this was following the same trend as The Immortal Child, both kind of rewriting the Doctor Who lore and not really have any basis or hints towards them in the plot leading up to their debut. Luckily, unlike The Immortal Child, this Bigeneration idea doesn't cause a ridiculous number of plot holes and can fit in if you wiggle it in just right. To stop being off topic, I want to give my theory as to why Bigeneration makes sense and why the Toy Maker doesn't even need to be in the story for it to have happened. I'm proposing that the reason the Doctor bigenerated is because of Donna and Rose. To be specific, I believe the Doctor bigenerated because of the meta-crisis energy that was released from the 2 of them. Now, we do have to go over the meta-crisis and what it is for people who don't remember or didn't watch the show at that time. During the Season 4 finale, the 10th Doctor, still played by David Tennant, was fatally wounded by a Dalek, one of his longest reoccurring enemies. This forced him to regenerate. Some additional context you need for this is that he lost a hand after regenerating into the 10th Doctor at the start of Season 2. The hand was saved and preserved by Captain Jack Harkness. Why? I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't meant to be creepy or anything. The hand was placed in the TARDIS, the Doctor's ship, for those who don't know, at some point before this event. When the 10th Doctor regenerated, he was able to use only enough regeneration energy to completely heal himself and then expel the rest of the energy into his old hand. This allowed the 10th Doctor to not change his appearance and be back to 100% health. Unbeknownst to him, this process also had some unknown side effects that we would see later in the episode. The leftover regeneration energy that he expelled stayed in the hand during the duration of the episode, so when Donna Noble found herself on the TARDIS and touched it, the energy was exchanged between the two. Donna Noble gained the mind of a Time Lord, and the hand was able to grow a body identical to the 10th Doctor, albeit half-human. Unfortunately, with Donna being a human, she could not withstand the energy of having a Time Lord's mind in her head, and her memories had to be erased by the Doctor in order for her mind to not burn. This is where things ended for these characters. That is, until the 60th anniversary, where we get the return of Catherine Tate and David Tennant as Donna Noble and the 14th Doctor respectively. We also see the solution as to how the Metacrisis energy is dealt with. During the events between Season 4 and the 60th anniversary, Donna has a daughter named Rose. We see that through giving birth, Donna was able to share the Metacrisis energy with her daughter when she was born. The result of this energy transfer led to Donna not dying, and them being able to solve the Metacrisis they were experiencing during the episode. But what happened to this influx of energy when they were done using it? Well, Donna and Rose are able to release the energy into the universe so that they would not be affected by it anymore. Usually, that's the end of that in Doctor Who. However, I do believe that when they released this energy, it didn't actually dissipate into the universe, but it went back into the Doctor, causing him to have an influx of regeneration energy inside of him. It's basically the same principle as the Metacrisis incident, but also different. Rather than splitting his regeneration into two entities, he had so much of it inside of him, when he regenerated, it created a second Metacrisis Doctor. Thus, instead of regenerating, he bigenerated into the 14th and 15th Doctor. I think this makes the situation more digestible for viewing, especially to those like myself who are more purists on the things involving Doctor Who. I like when there are grounded explanations that follow what we've seen in the show up to this point. The whole situation starts to make more sense to me because it actually does give an explanation that doesn't stray too far from what we already know. I think the bigeneration could have gone two ways, and this is the one that I would have picked had I been showrunner. The other option would have been to make the Toymaker solely responsible for the Doctor's bigeneration, where he uses his almost omniscient powers to change the way the Doctor's biology works. It's not like he wouldn't be able to. We see many things that happen that wouldn't have happened without the Toymaker. Like, we see the 15th Doctor make 2 TARDISes. We see people going insane due to constantly hearing a laugh for all their lives, etc. But, like I mentioned earlier, the Toymaker does look confused when the Doctor regenerates, so you couldn't have had a hand in making things turn out the way they did. In the end, it doesn't really matter too much what the explanation is. The Doctor was gifted what he needed the most, a time for rest. And that's what we see at the end of the episode. With that, that is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw here today. We're almost to 100 subscribers. Let's go! I do have to figure out what we're going to do for that occasion, so I guess we'll see. Anyway, who's your favorite Doctor from Doctor Who? Comment below so I could see. Did you guys like the 60th? Let me know. Season 1's finally finished, and I thought it was an okay start to Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor. I do think that he still does need a little bit more time to find his own unique voice. But let me know what you thought about Season 1 also. Let me know in the comments. And remember, if you're not toasted with toasted mushroom, you're just baked.